Hello everybody, welcome back. Southwest Bushcraft here. My name is Skeet. I'm coming at you today with an interesting video. Today I want to talk to you about the simple process of how to make a fire using a single match, just one. Right now I'm walking around and I'm looking for some tinder type material. Look at this. I think this would make some excellent tinder if I rough it up a little bit. Here's some more of that cottonwood bark that I'm going to use for tinder. See how that stuff is really soft underneath? That's what I'm going to use for my tinder. Now to process this cottonwood bark, all I'm going to do is just keep opening up the fibers, and I'm just going to keep working it and loosening it up, and I'm going to make a very fine material. This is what I'm going to use to catch that first spark. It's kind of falling down here on the ground right now, but that's okay. I'll pick it up here in a second. But I'm just taking these fibers and exposing them. I'm creating a lot of airflow between the fibers. This is going to make an excellent tinder. Again, this is going to be to catch that flame. Look at that. That stuff is beautiful. Very good tinder. See that down there? I'm just going to pick this stuff up and take it over by my fire lay. I'm going to start off by grabbing some small kindling. The kindling that I'm looking for is things that are the diameter of a pencil or smaller. Toothpick sized and things like that is what I'm looking for. So I'm just going through and picking some of these tamarack branches. Nothing too crazy. I'm just going to gather me a nice little pile of these, and I'll see you in a minute. This is the location where we're going to make our fire, right in here. So I'm going to start piling my kindling and eventually my fuel and things right here. I want to make sure that before I strike that match that I have everything laid out long before I strike that match or that spark. When it comes to making a fire and you're going to use a single ignition source, or like in our case today, one match, preparation is crucial. Okay, now I'm looking at stuff that is about the diameter of my finger. Things like this. This is going to be my first layer of fuel. So I'm looking in there, trying to get things like this. I like picking my wood up off of the trees that way it's off the ground and there's not really a chance of it having much moisture. Okay folks, let's take a look and see what we have right now. When it comes to making a fire and you're using a single source of ignition, such as in our case today, one match, it's important to make sure that everything is laid out ahead of time, long before you spark that spark or ignite that match. Preparation is everything when it comes to making a fire. So right here you can see that I have some cottonwood bark that I've roughed up a little bit. This is going to be my tinder. This is going to be what my match ignites, and once that starts to burn, then I'm going to use this small pile of, I would say, toothpick sized, but there are some things that are about the size of a pencil or smaller. This first layer of kindling is going to go on top of this. That's going to ignite, and then from there I'm going to graduate up a little bit larger. These are pencil sized, these are finger sized, and eventually getting up into my fuel, and that's what's going to sustain my fire. So it's, again, I can't stress it enough how important it is to make sure that everything is laid out long before you hit that ignition source. Okay, right now we're looking at the ground, and you can see that I cleaned the ground up. I took a lot of these cottonwood leaves and all this stuff that could be around our fire. I took it away and I just cleared us a little spot. This is where we're going to make our fire. It's just dirt, therefore we don't have to worry about our fire spreading. Okay, now I'm going to take some small sticks. I'm just going to kind of poke them into the ground. Try to get the little teepee started. This is going to be the start of my fire. This is just going to kind of be the infancy, if you will, that gets all this stuff together. Just kind of laying these guys in. Sometimes they cooperate and sometimes they don't. Just kind of pushing that baby in. Pushing that baby in. Just getting something like that started. Just making, for the lack of a better term, it's like a little bit of a teepee. This is going to help get my fire going. If I see any sticks or twigs or anything nearby, you can go ahead and use those. Just want to keep everything real thin right now. We don't want to use too thick a material. Now, I'm going to take my tinder pile. I'm going to fluff it up a little bit more. Make sure that it's really fluffy, and I'm just going to lay it right on top of all of this, just like a tent. Just like I'm building a miniature survival shelter. Okay, you see that? And all these very fine pieces that are really small that fell on the ground, those are going to get tucked inside a little bit. And that's where my match is going to go. That's going to ignite those, and hopefully the flames will come up and get onto this cottonwood bark and ignite this tinder pile. Okay folks, I have a single match in my hand. I have a striker on the side of this box. Right here I have all of my small toothpick sized, and right here I have my pile of pencil sized, and just over here that's where my fuel and stuff is. So let's go ahead and get this thing started. Again, my plan is to ignite my match right underneath here somewhere, and I'm hoping that I can ignite some of this cottonwood bark. Let's see what happens. I'm just kind of sheltering it from the wind a little bit, kind of pushing it up into the teepee. Everything's starting to go. Now I'm just going to start laying these small, tiny, toothpick-sized pieces of kindling on it in a teepee fashion, just like I had. These are a little bit long. Let me cut them down. You want to make sure that you don't put too much on too soon. You want to make sure that your fire has plenty of airflow. If you start reducing that airflow, you'll start having problems getting your fire going. You'll see a big black, or not black, but you'll see a lot of smoke coming out of your fire, and if that happens, that is an indicator. The fire is basically telling you, I'm smothering, I don't have any oxygen. That's what it's telling you if you see smoke. But right now we don't have any smoke. We have just a nice little fire. This is a teepee method. Look at that. Look at how beautiful that fire is. Now right over here I have my larger fuels, again by graduations, and they're ready to go if I wanted to put them on. I don't think I'm going to do that right now because I'm just here to make a video on the fire. So I think I'm going to just let it sit just as it is right now. That's how you make a fire using a single match. It's all about that preparation. I'm just basically going to wait until it dies down completely, and then I'll throw some dirt on top of it. And before I go, I'm going to make sure that there's no smoke or any signs of heat or anything, and then I'll leave. It's important when you put your fire out. You know, the method that I'm using today is I'm burying it. You can see that I'm holding my hands around the fire where it was, and I'm feeling for any kind of signs of heat. If you feel any heat, then that's telling you there's a coal somewhere, and you need to get rid of that coal. But in my experience today, there's nothing left. I'm just kind of finishing it up. This fire is officially out, and now we can take off. Have a beautiful day. Well, everybody, I want to say thank you for watching the video today. I hope you got some good, useful information out of the video. Please feel free to leave a comment down below, like the video, share the video, and if you like the content that you see on my channel, please subscribe. I'd love to have you. And until next time, have a beautiful day. Now get out there, make yourself a one-match fire. Don't forget to put it out before you go. Later.